G'day F1 fans, we are back racing once more, the Miami Grand Prix. Yes, it is a sprint weekend, so we get a double dose. You could even suggest that this is the reset, or at least the restart for the 2026 season. I'm sure there'll be plenty of upgrades and plenty of intrigue regarding the changes that the FIA have come up with. Mick, good to see you again. It feels like it's been a long time. How's things, mate?
Yeah, good, man. It's good to be back. We finally get that dopamine hit, and boy, don't we get a double dose, like you mentioned, man. Sprint weekend, so there's plenty of action. Look, all these teams now have had a rest, time to evaluate and look at data. Be interesting to see which team has taken the biggest step in this mini break.
Damn right. Well, it looks like the weather is going to play nice for the majority of the weekend, hot, but we may get some wet weather running for the first time for 2026 on the Sunday with maybe some thunderstorms. Tyre compounds have gone the C3, C4, C5, so the softest, most aggressive. Maybe the DEG could be an issue here. I kind of don't think so.
Yeah, it is a pretty low DEG circuit. I think, last year was a one-stopper?
Primarily
medium and hard.
one-stopper, yeah.
I kind of... Because it got resurfaced. Was it 23? I think it got resurfaced. So
yeah, correct. I think it was.
Yeah, so I'm kind of expecting a one-stopper as well, unless we have some wet weather or mechanical failures or something like that.
And no doubt, being Miami, we get the dose of celebrity. We get the special liveries. I think Racing Bulls are bringing out a lemon this weekend.
Oh, man, they killed me. DJ Khaled. Oh, my God. Look, I guess that's what they're about, but of all people. And another one.
And another one.
Literally, and another one for them. It looks good. I reckon it'll look good on track, but it is giving me the old Benson and Hedges vibes.
Oh, yeah. The old Benson Hedges.
Getting the old Benson Hedges vibes,
yeah,
but you're right.
Yellow. Are we allowed to say are we allowed to talk about tobacco sponsorship these days? I don't know.
Oh, probably not, eh? B&H.
How times have changed. Times have changed. Well, Miami, it's never really been one of my favourite circuits, but we're stuck with it until I think, 2041? I think it holds the longest contract at the moment. So for anyone out there that doesn't like it, well, we're just going to have to deal with it and going to have to deal with the celebrities and everything else that come with it. But look, mate, I don't really care too much because we're back racing, and that is the main thing. Now, I need your expert opinion regarding... mate, the new changes.
You're going to ask me this question and I'm going to have absolutely no idea.
The change of megajoules, kilowatts, when they can deploy, this type of thing. Now, I mean, I could just summarize it because I've been listening to a lot of different people talking about it, and it has been quite vague. Realistically, they're trying to change the super clipping.
Yep.
So that's not such a big of a factor. And of course, you could say the variance in speed of closing speed to avoid another Franco Colapinto, Ollie Behrman incident.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, man, I think it's they're reducing the electrical deployment from 350 kilowatts to 150. Just limits that excessive speed difference. We go to a lower recharge rate in qualifying, which we kind of said it's what we wanted, right? It's more flat out driving rather than having to lift and coast and slow down to try and recharge. Qualifying should just be about pure flat out driving. So we get that. Less super clipping, like you said, as well. And it's more towards the end of the super clipping phase. So when you think about it, that might help someone like Ferrari, right, who have the smaller turbo. They generally hit that super clipping phase quite early on and they have to go for quite a long time. So they're going to get rid of that. Look, at the end of the day, most of this has all come down to safety after we saw what happened in Japan. Is it going to affect the pecking order? I dare say not. Not right now. Is it going to affect the racing? Again, we don't know. It's almost like we're going back to Australia with all these unknowns now.
Yeah, completely. So, well, what did Fred Vasseur say? Remember Fred Vasseur not long ago? What did he say? It'll be a new championship from this point, along those lines?
Yeah.
He sounded pretty confident. The cars we're going to see are going to be probably quite noticeably different. They've had plenty of time to, bring some potential new aero packages. You know more about it than I do regarding the upgrades for most teams, but it seems to be generally everyone is bringing some changes to the aero packages.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we've had that 5-week break now. A lot of teams, especially on the PU side and the energy deployment side, I think a lot of teams have had the time to get on top of that. There are going to be a lot of aero changes to quite a few teams. I think McLaren is probably going to be the biggest one, where the car might look visibly different. Basically, we'll get on to McLaren, but yeah, so from Miami into Canada, they're basically bringing in a whole new, basically a whole new car, a whole new design, a whole new theory. Have they closed the gap to Mercedes at the front? Because I still think they're going to be quite dominant. But the midfield battle, man, that's where it's really at. Like, it's so tight.
For me, the FIA must be looking at this race as one of their most important in recent memory, just regarding the new changes that they've made, to the power units. Yep. My worry here is the purists don't like these fake overtakes, the yo-yo racing, so to speak. If we get racing where there's not much going on or not much action, even as, traditionalists like ourselves, right? We've been sort of on the fence, but we have been loving the action and the to and fro. If we don't get any of that this weekend, mate, people are going to flip out.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? You're never going to please anybody, and I will give them credit. They're not sitting still and going, this is what it is, deal with it. They're actively making changes. They're listening to the teams. They've started to listen to the drivers. Let's hope it doesn't affect the show, because the show has been good, whether it's artificial or not. It's entertainment, right? You'd rather see an entertaining race. Yes, we want drivers to drive flat out, but you look back through history, when it's just that, the racing's boring, man. Right? Yeah. So, okay, even if we do have to make it a little bit artificial to make it more exciting and more get viewers hooked, who cares, man?
Oh, the purists, the pitchforks will be out. They'll be out on those comments, Mick. They'll be out on those.
Let them. Then it's just,
Well, let's see how it all turns out anyway. Again, I think, like you mentioned, I think it is a good thing that the FIA are looking into making these changes and they're not too stubborn about it. And hopefully we find the right balance. And after Miami, there won't be so much talk about it. Now, one quick thing before I forget, P1 this week is a 90-minute session, and it's to give teams a little more opportunity, because being a sprint race weekend, you've only got that one practice session to, I think, go over some of just to get used to these new power units and the deployment and so forth. And a quick one that we didn't mention was something to do with the race starts. Now, I don't know if they've fully implemented this as of yet, but it seems to be they wanted to do some testing regarding the race start, and that if there's, you hit an anti-stall or something, you're able to...
It's basically to kind of stop, like we've seen,
Liam Lawson,
Red Bull's probably exactly. Lawson, we've even seen with Red Bull, where it's like they get to the start line and they've got no battery. And then it just becomes dangerous, where the car basically doesn't move. So I think they're implementing something where I don't know if it's a button or how exactly it's going to work, but yeah, if it's kind of like if you go into anti-stall, this thing will kick in and it will help you get off the line. Doesn't give you the full beans. And they've made it very clear that any team that's caught using it in the wrong way as well will get a penalty. So that says a bit about what it is. So again, it's just another rule, another tweak, something to keep an eye on and see how it goes. But who knows, man? Is that going to kill Ferrari's advantage off the start line now?
Well, we'll get on to that. And how about we'll do what we normally do, team to team, then we'll get into our predictions. We'll start off with, of course, Mercedes leading the championship, won all the races coming out. Kimi Antonelli coming off 2 race wins, the young fella. Now, the one thing I want to ask you first before we delve in, they have changed the rules or an advantage that Mercedes and Red Bull were using regarding qualifying. Tell me more about that, and do you think that is going to hurt potentially their qualifying in Miami?
Oh, to be honest,
it's hard to say because obviously Mercedes is such a strong car as it is.
Yeah. Like I don't think really that's where their advantage was, to be fair. And I mean, it certainly didn't help Red Bull in qualifying.
Well, maybe it helped them get into Q3 rather than Q2 elimination.
Well, exactly. That's a very good point. But
because how did it come about? What were they exactly doing that was gaining them as the so-called advantage?
All right, now you put me on the spot. I've got to try and remember this. It was something to do with the energy deployment going onto the straight, I think, decreased at a certain rate, but Red Bull were able to turn it off, like shut it off completely, which meant they could stay at full throttle rather than having to recharge the battery and then go again. They were able to shut it off completely, which meant that they could stay at maximum velocity earlier, I guess you could say, which gave them an advantage in the first phase of
the hot lap.
Yeah, the first phase of that main straight coming across the line.
Okay, yeah.
So let's see. You look at it and go, okay, well, yeah, that might have to give an advantage, kill some of that advantage Mercedes have had, but man, they're too strong everywhere else, I think.
So regarding the little inter-team battle that seems to be heating up, I know it's still very early. Everyone has been very much on Russell's side to get the championship done this season. But Kimi, mate, he's grown in confidence.
Well, yeah, that's it. Look, again, I don't think George is too worried just yet, but he can't let Kimi continue his momentum because he will just get stronger and stronger and stronger and more confident. We've seen on Russell's side of the garage, there's a little bit of reliability issues creeping in every now and then. So I think this weekend, yes, he'll definitely want to get one up on Kimi, but Kimi, man, he's flying. I think he's so full of confidence. Look, he got the sprint pole here, was it last year?
Yeah, I think it was his first, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was his first, so he's not too shabby around here, and in that car, I still think that they're going to be dominant. I still think their gap is still going to be quite substantial. Look, in terms of upgrades, they're not really bringing anything significant. I think their significant package comes in Canada.
Yeah.
So what they've done sort of over this break is just refined the package that they've got. I think George will bounce back.
Yeah, to be honest, I get the feeling that Mercedes, even though over all these 3 race weekends, they still have more in it.
Yeah,
I don't think they're turning the wick up or they're fully on it. And so regardless, for any of those teams to close the gap at the moment, it would be a pretty substantial effort. But hey, who knows? We have seen teams turn it around and teams fall off. You can't really go past those 2 lads for being in the top 3 podium unless there is some reliability issue that creeps in.
Well, it is going to be hot too, so engine temps are going to be key here as well.
Yep.
So
your reliability still all over is still, I would say, quite an issue for most teams. So
yeah, well, that Mercedes has been susceptible to power unit issues. It's not a guarantee, but you would still have to say that if you were betting, you're gonna put money on those 2 to be in the top 3.
Safe bet. All right, Ferrari, clear second in the constructors. Now, this is an interesting one. Fred Vasseur, like I mentioned earlier, his comments regarding the start of a new championship, he seems to be very confident. They're still refining that car. I think they're one of the teams that are bringing out, some of the biggest upgrades this weekend?
Yeah. Between them and McLaren, I think this weekend for Ferrari is a revised floor, a new front wing, and I think they've done some chassis updates to try and help with the rear of that car because that's still been a bit of a problem for them. Are we going to see the Macarena wing? Who knows?
It's hard to know because of that one practice session. I find teams this weekend will probably be quite conservative regarding their testing because they don't have the 3 practice sessions. So maybe next time...
It's going to be interesting. Like I said, we're having a bit of a upgrade off between McLaren and Ferrari at the moment. They seem to be the teams with the 2 biggest upgrade packages coming for this race. Will be interesting to see how much, if at all, Ferrari have managed to close that gap. I've got them as Smokies, man. I think they might be in. If you look at the circuit layout, Sector 1 and then the end of Sector 2, Ferrari are going to be really strong because it's a lot of low-speed corners. It's not that where we saw in Japan where it was high speed, medium speed, where the car probably wasn't quite as comfortable. I think the low-speed stuff here will suit them. If they can get ahead of Mercedes early on, dude, I reckon they might just have enough. And then in qualifying, we've taken away harvesting limit, so it's going to be flat out. So there goes, you could say, a little bit of Mercedes advantage. That's certainly going to bring Ferrari closer to the front. How much? We don't know, but I seriously have them, man, as a smoky this weekend. Charles, Charles is going to be there, right? Like, he always is, especially on Saturday, on qualifying. So... And again, Lewis's side of the garage, dude, if you can be with Charles in qualifying, I still think when it comes to the races and the longer stints, I think Lewis still has a bit of an advantage. He's super comfortable at the moment, man. He's just got to, if he can get on top of qualifying, mix it with Charles, bro, honestly, I think they're in with a real shot of winning their first race this year.
There we go. Team Red. Tifosi. Mate, could be the weekend of change. I would only say Lewis Hamilton, he hasn't really had much luck around Miami, but again, luck can change. And did
he get a third in the sprint race? Was that last year? It was last year, wasn't it? I think he got a third in the sprint race and then had an absolute shocker on the Sunday.
Maybe.
Was that have a cup of tea while you're at it?
God, it rings a bell.
Yeah,
mate,
I think that was trying to make a decision, and it was have a cup of tea while you're at it.
I'm struggling to even remember what happened the last race out because it just feels like it was last year.
It feels when it was so long 5 weeks now, yeah.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe Mr. Hamilton has a lucky charm. Trackside, Miami.
I wonder if we're going to see a trackside.
Oh, surely. I think we will. I think she will make an appearance. Miami,
it's that kind of weekend, isn't it? It's that kind of weekend.
Yeah, it is that kind of weekend. And maybe, for Lewis Hamilton fans, it may be one to properly celebrate. Now, McLaren. Yep, big upgrades coming. Oscar Piastri, maybe been a race win that got away in Japan last time out. He was very competitive. And I still like his statistics. When he starts a race, he finishes on the podium.
Yeah.
Lando Norris, he's done pretty well around here. I think he won his first ever race here in Miami.
Yeah, and he won did he win? He won the sprint race last year. Oscar won the main race on Sunday, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty sure it was.
Last year was Oscar, Lando came second, George was third. Lando won the sprint race. So they're both pretty stout around here, man.
Yeah, go pretty well. And, based on what we saw in Japan, they seemed a lot more competitive. And like you've mentioned, that they're bringing a whole lot more upgrades. So that could be something that closes the gap. We know they're running the Mercedes engine as well. So, hey, look, they're definitely in with a shot.
I think Stella's come out and said, we're starting to get on top of the power unit. They've done a bit of work with HPP and they're starting to figure it out. And they think that they've made a pretty big gain in that respect as well.
Yep.
Be interesting to see what the overall concept of the car looks like, if it is going to be massively different. Look, we've seen if they can get both cars on track, they're fast. They're certainly fast. I think Oscar's probably looked a little bit more comfortable of the two. Lando just needs a weekend where, he can't afford to miss any of practice one, like we saw in Japan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to gauge where they are at compared to each other because they haven't really... In terms of reliability,
been a lot of races between them, to be honest.
Yeah, they haven't been on par in terms of reliability. So, but if they can get both cars on track, they're going to be in the mix for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I guess the big thing for McLaren this week will be probably the media side regarding the announcement from a few weeks ago with GP moving to McLaren. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions asked regarding Max Verstappen's future and whether they make a play. There'll be a whole lot of that, no doubt. Now, let's get onto the fourth team, and this is a promotion basically on the back of Ollie Behrman. That is Haas. They are sitting fourth in the championship. Now, for poor old Ollie, I'm pretty sure he'll be over his, that big accident last time out in Japan, which is good. We've mentioned it in a previous video. We brought a video out just recently regarding 3 drivers that we believe are under pressure, and that is Esteban Ocon. So this is his opportunity to come out swinging and show that, hey, look, Mr. Behrman, I am still here. Yep. So from Haas's point of view, it's just for me, it's that intriguing inter-team battle between those two. Has Ocon got it?
Well, he needs to. He needs to have it. Like you said, we did that video. He needs to come out, like you said, come out swinging. He needs to make sure he's in front of his teammate this whole weekend. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Ollie's got him covered. When it comes to the one-lap stuff and the race stuff, look, I think, Ollie's got him covered pretty easy at the moment. He's definitely way more comfortable. Both cars need to get in the points because that constructor battle between them and Alpine, the battle for the best of the rest at the moment. Yeah. And they could possibly even stretch that points lead to Red Bull as well. So it's a super important weekend. They just need to finish ahead of Alpine, regardless, both drivers. I think Ollie's good for points. Ocon, I'm not so confident.
Well, it'll be a big one because he needs to get on top of that car very quickly. And speaking of which, you were just mentioning Alpine. They are 5th in the championship. And again, primarily on the back of the one driver, Pierre Gasly. Franco Colapinto, this is his opportunity to turn his season around. He really needs to. He should get a lot of support here. I'm sure a lot of the Argentinian fans will make an appearance. It's not too far away from Miami. Wouldn't say it's a huge jump on an aeroplane. So it will be one for him to, again, just like Esteban Ocon, this is the inter-team battle. He just needs to hang with Pierre.
If you can get that gap closed to Pierre, that car's competitive, man, and you will be there to pounce and pick up some points. It'll be interesting to see what sort of package they do bring. I haven't heard too much about what they're bringing. Obviously, they'll probably bring some aero updates because they've had a pretty competitive package, and we've seen what Gasly's been able to do. And I think it will be similar. And like I said, I think that fight between Haas and Racing Bulls will be interesting to see how much of a step forward they have taken. Look, we know Gasly's going to be sniffing around the points if he's half comfortable in that car. And if he can qualify well, we've seen that car so hard to pass.
Yeah, exactly.
We saw it in Japan, right?
Yeah.
So if you can get yourself in that top 10, on Gasly's side, I would back him to be in that top 10 come the checkered flag on Sunday.
Let's hope for Colapinto's sake he can restart his season and hang with Mr. Pierre Gasly. Now, P6 seems so low and lonely out here for Red Bull Racing. Much like McLaren, there's going to be a lot of talk regarding Max Verstappen's future, talk around GP. There's rumours of other people leaving, even starting to see articles come out now regarding like Mecky's position. Is he the right guy for team principal? And it's like, come on, guys, it's early in the season. Just 3 races in.
He's not even that. When did he take over last year?
When was Christian demoted? Was that before summer or after summer? The old carousel, the Red Bull carousel.
Well, either way, man, it's like you think of it. You can't blame the car being poor on him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's already inherited a direction and a plan that was already put in place. So his job now is to make sure, get the right people in the right areas and get on top of the car. If by, say, the end of the season there's been no improvement, then you could say, okay, maybe there might be a little pressure. But right now, he inherited that car. He wasn't in the team long enough to have an influence on the direction of where that car should be. So I think there's more pressure on the engineers than Mekis himself. I think they're bringing an upgrade package, maybe trim a little bit of fat off it.
Well, speaking of trimming a bit of fat off, we did see them in one of those testing days or film days. They have their version of what you could say the Macarena wing. You know, I like to call it the rotisserie wing. I don't think they'll bring it just purely because we don't have enough testing time regarding practice. But it is an interesting little thing that is coming about, the aero on that car.
Well, they said they actually had this in the design works before they saw it on the Ferrari. So it's not like they saw Ferrari do it and went, "Oh, copy it." Apparently, it's been in the works. yeah. So, but you're right. I don't think we'll see it this weekend. You would probably see it next time out somewhere like Canada, where they have the time to test it. But yeah, like I said, man, hopefully they package, they trim a bit of fat off it. There's going to be some aero upgrades, man. They've just got to try and fix the overall balance of that car because it's not where it needs to be. Hopefully it gets Max closer to the front. I think the qualifying changes will help with that because we want to see him at the front, right? Like, we know what Max can do, there's no doubt. But I think qualifying the way the regs are now might help him make a little bit more of the difference, provided he can get that car into a window where he can really attack. Isaac, man, just keep doing what you're doing.
Doing good, man.
You're doing a solid job, man. You've been pretty stout in qualifying. I think you've made Q3 in it every weekend.
Yeah, I believe
I'm pretty
so.
sure.
Pretty sure.
So you're doing a good job there. Just keep close to Max. Look, I think they should be in for double points here, provided these upgrades work.
On to the lemon. Lemon in the sense that it's not a bad thing. It's just that it's going to look like a yellow lemon on track. Racing Bulls. It is a very solid car at the moment. Liam's been doing good. Lindblad's been straight, fast out of the box. Now I expect Liam to have the advantage here because we haven't seen F2 or the lower categories race here before. So this will be Arvid Lindblad's first taste of Miami. But interesting, just to say regarding the F2s, the F2s are here this weekend as well. I think the F3 as well, possibly.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool to see them on track. But Racing Bulls, what do you think? Besides the livery, they've been just sort of quietly going about their business, in my opinion.
Like I said, I think their baseline package is strong, man. They seem to have probably a better handle on the PU than Red Bull, you would say at the moment. Hopefully whatever they bring is an improvement and really gets them in the fight with Haas and Alpine and even Red Bull at the moment. I'm expecting points from Liam this weekend. I think he's been super strong. And I think the team are going to lean on him this weekend with the upgrades. He's going to be the one to lead from the front. Lindblad, just like you said, new circuit, limit your mistakes, keep doing what you're doing because you're proving yourself at the moment and get in the mix. Because it's good when you're in the mix. Elbows out, man. He's he's proper F2.
I mean, if he can hang with Liam really close, I mean, look, the guy's quick. So
there's no reason that both those cars could score points. Like, it's good enough.
Love to see them both.
You would say
top 10.
More so on Liam's side. Like you said, he's going to have the advantage here, just given his experience. But I think if Lindblad can limit his mistakes, he's quick. He's pretty quick.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a good weekend for Racing Bulls. Now, P8, the constructors, Audi. Now, big news regarding Audi was obviously Jonathan Wheatley moving away, and it looks like they're bringing on a
Mr. McNish,
old Audi driver. It's Alan McNish, isn't it?
Yeah, Alan McNish, the new racing director.
Racing director. When's he actually joining? Will he be there this weekend, or is it to come in later?
This weekend or Canada. I can't remember. Okay. But it's pretty soon, so he'll be there to oversee the trackside operations, take a bit of pressure off Bonotto, which is good. But yeah, for me, it's reliability is still their main concern. They'll be sniffing around the bottom of the 10 there, I reckon. They have an opportunity to score points for sure.
Yeah, but it's just need to string some good reliability.
Yeah, 100%. Reliability is their main issue.
Now, P9 and the constructors. Now, this is the team that I think could surprise us this weekend, and that's Williams, because I think out of most of the teams on the grid, I think Williams have probably potentially benefited the most having this break. Why I'm confident with Williams is they know what their problem is, and it is regarding the weight, but the biggest problem is perhaps what you talked about, where they're going around corners and it seems to be the three-wheeling.
Yeah, it's definitely chassis related. Look, there's no doubt the thing's overweight. I'm probably not as confident as you, because there are reports that they will have a new chassis that will be where it should have been at the start of the season come summer. Now, look, Williams said they could have fixed the problem straight away, but we're in a cost cap era, so you have to be very careful where you spend your money. So that's why I'm like, yes, they have brought updates where they have said they have shaved a bit of weight off it. They will gain some lap time. But yeah, they've got to get on top of that chassis issue with the three-wheeling.
Maybe I'm a little overconfident, maybe perhaps too optimistic, but I'm pretty sure they'll come right. But I just have a feeling they possibly could be a surprise this weekend. Not in the sense where they are, massively in the mix with the midfield battle, but I just think closer. Hopefully they've got a bit of weight out of that car.
Yeah, well, supposedly they have shaved a bit of weight off it. The big weight change will come supposedly in summer, according to James Vowles. I think they will make a step forward, but it won't be a massive step forward. They'll still sort of be languishing around 12th, 13th kind of thing. I don't think they're in the hunt for points, which adds more pressure onto someone like Alex Albon. Like we did in that previous video. If that's the case, then you've got to make sure you finish ahead of your teammate. That's all you can do. And
that's his challenge this weekend, because he can't keep getting beaten in that head-to-head with Carlos. Now, to the perennial backmarkers, Cadillac, we can always give them leeway in being a new team.
Well, going to give them leeway this week because they got the new livery.
Yes, they have got the new livery, and it's their first home race.
And let's stick with that one. That's one livery I can get behind. That half and half.
It needs to pop on the track. The track.
This livery, all white with the stars and stripes at the back.
Yep.
To me, that screams Cadillac more than what they've got. Their regular livery. So we're expecting the same, right?
Yeah.
Not expecting anything different.
Well, for them, if they finish ahead of Aston Martin, I think that's a win.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right? Complete your laps, finish the race, gather your data, keep improving your race weekend procedures and how you go about racing. Look, both drivers are getting getting more and more comfortable being back behind the wheel of a Formula One car, and given the new current regulations. They are bringing some upgrades, so hopefully that drags them a little bit closer to that midfield battle. Problem is, everybody else is dragging themselves closer and further ahead in that midfield battle. So I think we're still going to see them where they are.
I would say it's just a big opportunity for them to get a lot of PR being a home race. Miami, Cadillac, it'll be big news. So perhaps, from the commercial side, it's probably a good thing for them, but the pressure is to have a reliable car and to finish the race.
Yep.
So if it is a double DNF from, we're talking about reliability issues or something like that, that wouldn't be a good look. So pressure on them to just be reliable, and coming in last but not least is going to be the theme, I think, for most of the season. Aston Martin, the biggest disappointment. But what I found very interesting was Fernando Alonso's comments just recently saying that he would like to continue his Formula One career past 2026. Now, we've all been saying, oh, no, he'll most likely retire. If the car's a bucket, he'll most likely retire. But the man just wants to keep on driving by the sounds of it.
Yeah, and I think he's drawn to the fact that the car's not perfect right now. And he has the opportunity to help turn that around and get that car competitive. And I think that's a real... Because he said, if I walked away now, it'd be easy because the car's terrible.
Yeah.
But it's like you stick around, you make the car better. That's where the enjoyment comes from, is turning that team around. Mate, their problem is too big to solve all in one go. Look, in terms of needing the break, you said Williams. I think Aston Martin needed it more than anything. They did keep one of the cars behind after Japan, and they put it on a dyno to try and sort out this vibration problem. They said they've sorted it to an extent. Whether it's enough where they can just go out, compete all the sessions, but drive flat out. Because I have not been able to drive that thing flat out. Like, they're 1,000 RPM down on the rest of the field. Like, you know.
Come on,
so, yeah, hopefully they've got on top of that reliability issue. Hopefully it's a step forward. And I just want to see them compete in every single session and finish, 57 or 59 laps this weekend?
Yeah.
Both cars finish, and they can go out and they can actually drive the things properly, drive them like a proper Formula One car. Because when they do that, then they can start to get the chassis in order, and I think then the competitiveness will start to come. Cost cap error, you can't just fix the problem overnight. And they've said it, this is going to be a long process.
Clearly it's going to take quite a bit of time.
Yeah, that's it. It's just the length of the process to do it, because we're not in an era where you can just throw a shit ton of money at it and fix it overnight.
Well, it's also the testing side as well, limited testing.
Yeah. They basically got to try and reinvent the wheel in terms of their gearbox matching with the power unit to stop the vibrations. It's not like, you know, just strap a couple of rods on it and sort itself out.
And the sim drivers will be putting the hours in, no doubt. And if they need some extra sim drivers, hands are up. Happy to do it.
Available anytime.
Anytime. All right. Well, I think that sums up most of the team. Well, all of the teams, of course. Now we just got to get into racing, but we got to get into our predictions first. Now, off the top of my head, I think it is, 3 apiece?
No, 3-2, isn't it? I think you're up by one.
Okay, it could be that.
So,
okay.
I think.
I'll let you start. Who have you got? Sprint pole.
Sprint pole, George. Sprint winner, George.
Okay, sprint pole, Kimi. Sprint winner, Kimi. Backs it up.
Ooh.
Now, race, pole, and your top three.
Pole, Charles Leclerc. My race winner, Charles Leclerc. Second will be George Russell. Third will be Lewis Hamilton.
Damn.
I told you, man, I think they're my dark horse this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to go very close down that. So, pole, I'm going to go with George Russell.
Yeah.
Race winner. Damn, I was going to say Charles Leclerc as well. I'm going to go Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Race winner. P2 is going to be George Russell. P3, Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah.
So who's your hot tip? Who is the guy that is going to surprise? In fact, it could be a team. Let's say it could even be a team.
I'm going to go Alpine.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Pierre Gasly. I think he's going to continue to do what he's doing, and I think he's going to put on a big performance this weekend. I think
what do you reckon?
The upgrades are going to are going to be mint, and he's going to put in a banger.
Going to put in a banger? Like, you're talking top 5?
Ooh, he's going to be close.
Going to be close.
Yeah.
All right.
Because, I mean, you've still got McLaren there, and I think they're going to be in the mix.
Yeah, well, this is the issue, eh? You can't be writing off Lando and Oscar.
5th and 6th. He's going to be around that 5th or 6th.
Okay. All right, my hot tip is going to be... Look, I'm just going to go with Williams. I think I'm just going to roll with it, what I just said before. They are going to make the most improvement. I would say Carlos is going to snag a top 10. He's going to just be on the cusp. In the feature race. I'm talking feature race. So P10 for Carlos Sainz. Yep. And who are your big flops? Who's going to have an absolute shocker? Who's going to struggle?
My big flop is going to be Red Bull. I think they're going to still be in a bit of struggle streak. Look, I think the new rules probably favour will help Verstappen in qualifying, but I still think they're going to be a little bit off with that package.
All right, big flop for me is going to be Cadillac. They are going to have a double DNF in the feature race at their home
Burn.
home Grand Prix. Unfortunately. So
Well, they better sell that merch then.
Oh, mate. Yeah, won't be great. And at commercial level as well. Like probably have all these potential sponsors lined up and, you know, whining and dining and all the catering that goes along with it. And, just an absolute shocker over there. Let's hope not, but I just got a sneaky little feeling. Now, before we close off, some other big news that has hit Formula One headlines, I would say, is from the track perspective, and that is a return in 2027 for a track that a lot of fans do quite enjoy, and that is Turkey. But I don't think we can call Turkey anymore. Haven't they changed the name? It's more like Turkiya. Can someone correct me on that? I am sure just a couple of years ago they did change the name slightly. So I probably butchered it.
Well, the track was never called Turkey, was it?
Well, it
was never like the Turkish Grand Prix or Turkey Grand Prix or anything like that, was it?
No, it was a Turkish Grand Prix. I'm sure of it. But is it Istanbul?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was.
Well,
they just call it Istanbul. Yeah.
Istanbul Grand Prix?
Yeah.
I'd have to look back. Something to look back on. So, yeah. Turkiya, I think it is.
Turkiya,
is the technical,
and also
technical name.
Bahrain is going to be the opening round, and Saudi are the opening 2 rounds next year as well, due to Ramadan and the timings.
Yes, so originally, that's right, that's correct. The original,
Australia moves to 3rd or 4th.
Yes, Bahrain handed over the reins to Australia due to a couple of years where Ramadan fell on that particular weekend. So that was always the agreement for quite, over the few years. And now that Ramadan is off that particular time of weekend, you're right, Bahrain and Saudi are back, provided things are a little more stable over there, which fingers crossed it will be by then, because there's even talk of promoting, bringing Saudi Arabia back end of the year, pushing Abu Dhabi out 1 week. So let's see how things pan out with that. Any other big news? It's just been basically a rumour mill regarding personnel. I think we all know about it. Max's future.
Christian Horner's guarding leaves finishes in Canada, so he can officially join the paddock again in some form. So
he'll be around
apart
somewhere.
From that, it's just other than that, it's really been GP and Max, hasn't it?
Now, I just want to ask you a question, because we will probably do a bit of a podcast about this, your recent travels to a particular Formula One factory, and you even got some, you couldn't take any footage because they took away your phones and everything like that, but you did see, you tell them. You tell the audience. Where did you go? Because I'm very envious. I'm still very envious about this.
I was very fortunate, very lucky to go to the Ferrari factory in Maranello, have a look at the road car factory, and then at the end of the tour, we got to go into the Formula One factory. Now, when you go in, they've got the 1000th Grand Prix Charles Leclerc Formula One car hanging up on the wall. You go up these steps and you go onto this big platform, and it basically overlooks the entire Formula One factory. So I go upstairs, I turn around to the left. What do I see? Lewis Hamilton's car being worked on to my left. And I literally fangirled out, man. Went,
So this is last week, wasn't it? Just last week.
Yes. Yeah, so this was last week.
Did you catch any secret changes that were being made? Did you see what they were working on?
All I were really doing was putting the new stickers on. So they just come back from I think it was a test day in Monza. Mm-hmm. And they were getting the cars ready for Miami. And the guide said, this is quite rare that you get to see the cars being worked on, because generally throughout a season you don't really see them, especially in flyaway weekends. So, both Charles and Lewis's car was there. I was gutted We left, and about an hour later, Lewis Hamilton turned up. I was like, oh my God. But no, it was
Mamma mia.
It was, Mamma mia. Like, it was super cool, and like to see, you know, the cars being worked on, and then they showed you, you know, this is where the steering wheels are made. This is then you see where all the engineers sit, and then this is where the gearbox and the engines and everything sit. And then I was lucky enough to do a tour of Fiorano as well, so I got to see the Halo test track. But yeah, it was a super cool experience. Super fortunate. Yeah. You know who you are. Thank you very, 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 very much. But it was a super cool experience.
Yes, yeah, it sounded awesome. So I think we might do a little podcast about it, and we'll get into more details.
Yeah.
So that was very cool. Like I said, I'm very envious because that would have been a massive experience. And I'm not, look, for me, I love Ferrari. I'm not a huge Ferrari fan, and even I'm super envious. And I know how much of a Ferrari fan you are, particularly with Lewis Hamilton. So definitely one of those moments you'll always remember.
Yeah, it's definitely a pinch yourself moment. It's like, you know, you go up there and you don't expect to see anything, and then you turn around and the first car you see is number 44, and you're like,
cool.
This is literally. I was like, oh my God.
I can picture it. All right, we'll have to get more into that because I want to hear more about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, as you can see, I'm overseas at the moment you wouldn't know, but I'm actually in Australia at the moment. So this weekend, I am definitely looking forward to
you get it at a decent time too this weekend, eh?
What's that?
You
No,
get
it's
the
horrible.
racing
I think it's like 1 a.m.
No, it's 1 a.m. here.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get it at a mint time, man. You get it at like
maybe
7,
maybe this could be good.
8 a.m. Whereas here,
I'm going to have to double check.
1 a.m.
Yeah, because when I looked at the Formula One website and went to schedule, my phone must have still been like location mode UAE.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to have to change. Definitely look at that. Awesome. That's good. That is very, very good. All right, if you made it this far, as we always do, would love you to, hear in the comments regarding perhaps who you think is going to win this week, or just shoot the breeze, as they say. And, of course, sub, we are trying to push the subs up to our target is 1,000. And, we definitely need a bit of help.
Need your help. Help the algorithm and all that.
yeah, all that good stuff. Now, final thoughts, mate. It's on to you to finish it up.
Well, the big question is, we are back on track, but will these regulation changes change the pecking order of 2026? That is the big question. We'd love to hear what you think. Let us know. I tend not to think so, but look, who cares? All we want to see are race cars on track. And I think this weekend is going to be mega. So until then, we will catch you in the next one.
Catch ya.